I want to ask you something. In your life, what do you actually own? Think carefully, because Epictetus asked this question, and the answer changed everything.
Welcome back to Eternal Stoic Path. Imagine being born a slave. No freedom, no rights, no control over your body, your time, or even your own name. Now imagine rising from that life to become one of the most influential thinkers in history. Someone whose words still shape how millions of people face pain, fear, and loss. 2,000 years later, that man was Epictetus. In a world of emperors and armies, he had nothing material, yet he built an unbreakable mind. His teachings are not abstract philosophy. They are survival tools. And today, in 2026, when so many feel trapped by circumstances they cannot change, Epictetus may be the most relevant Stoic of all. Today, we explore his life, his core philosophy, and 5 life-changing lessons that modern psychology still echoes. Let us walk the path together. Epictetus was born around 50 in the ancient city of Hierapolis, present-day Pamukkale in modern Turkey. He was born into slavery, likely serving in the household of Epictetus, a powerful official of the Roman court. According to ancient accounts, his master once deliberately twisted his leg. Epictetus made not a single complaint. In a calm voice, he simply said, "You will break it." And when the bone snapped, he added, "Did I not tell you?" That moment defines him entirely. He could not control what happened to his body, but he could control his response to it. And that distinction is the foundation of his entire philosophy. He was eventually freed. He traveled to Rome and studied under the Stoic teacher Musonius Rufus. Epictetus left quietly and founded a school in Nicopolis, Greece. He taught for decades, yet never wrote a single word. Everything we know comes from his student Arrian, who preserved his lectures in the Discourses and the brief but powerful Enchiridion, or Handbook. Epictetus never claimed to be special. "I am just a lame old man," he would say. Yet his words reached emperors, slaves, and now us, because he did not merely teach that freedom is found in the mind. He lived it. Epictetus gave us the clearest and most powerful tool in all of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. He said life divides into 2 categories: things that are up to us, and things that are not up to us. Up to us, our opinions, impulses, desires, aversions, judgments. Everything that happens inside the mind. Not up to us, our bodies, property, reputation, health, the decisions of others, death, exile, pain, pleasure, everything external. This simple line changes everything. Most suffering comes from trying to control what is not ours to control. We rage at traffic. We spend hours anxious about what others think of us. We fear illness, failure, rejection. Epictetus says, "Stop. Those are not yours to command. Give your attention only to what is truly yours, your response." Modern psychology agrees completely. Cognitive behavioral therapy teaches that it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretations of those events. Epictetus expressed this nearly 2,000 years earlier. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. In 2026, where algorithms decide what you see, employers dictate your schedule, and markets shape your security, this distinction is liberating. You cannot control the world, but you can always control how you meet it. Epictetus was a slave, yet he called himself free. How is that possible? Because no one could force his mind. "Lameness is an impediment to the leg," he said, "but not to the will." His master could chain his body, but never his judgment, his values, or the quiet stillness inside him. True freedom is not having what you want. True freedom is wanting only what you have. Desire what is within your power, and you will never be disappointed. Desire what lies beyond it, and you will always suffer. Today, we chase external freedom. More money, more followers, more status, more security. Epictetus flips this entirely. External things can be stripped away in an instant. Internal freedom, the ability to choose your attitude, can never be taken from you. In a world where careers vanish overnight and reputations can be destroyed by a single post, this is revolutionary. Your real security is not in your bank account or your job title. It lives in your mind. Ask yourself each morning, what is the one thing that cannot be taken from me today? The answer is always the same: my values, my intention, the response I choose. That is your true wealth. Epictetus said life is like a play. You do not choose your role. You do not decide whether to be born rich or poor, healthy or sick, a parent or a child, a manager or an employee. But you do decide how well you play the role you have been given. If you are a brother, be the best brother. If you are a citizen, be the best citizen. If you are sick, be the best sick person you can be. If you have a difficult boss, even then, be the best version of yourself in that situation. Complaining about your role wastes the only time you have. Playing it with virtue is always possible. This mindset turns obstacles into opportunities. In 2026, when so many feel stuck in roles they did not choose, Epictetus says, stop wishing for a different part. Play the one you have with excellence. Research confirms this. People who find meaning in their current role, regardless of the circumstances, are consistently more resilient and more fulfilled. Epictetus reached this conclusion 2,000 years before psychology had the tools to measure it. Ask yourself today, am I giving my best to the role I currently hold? Just asking that question regularly can transform your experience of the life you already have. Epictetus constantly prepared for loss. He told his students to imagine their children dying, their possessions burning, their freedom disappearing. Not to be morbid, but to strip fear of its power. When the real loss comes, you are not shattered. You are ready. He had already learned this through lived experience. As a slave, he had lost everything, which meant nothing could truly break him. In our comfort-driven world, we avoid thinking about hardship. We push death, loss, and failure into the corners of our minds. Epictetus says that avoidance is what makes you fragile. Voluntary discomfort is what makes you strong. A cold shower, skipping a meal, sitting in silence. Imagining that what you treasure most is gone. These small practices teach the mind to stay steady when life strikes for real. Because once you learn to say, I can bear this, the great storms of life grow a little smaller. Modern psychology knows this as negative mental contrasting, a technique proven to improve performance under pressure and resilience in the face of loss. 2,000 years of wisdom confirmed in the laboratory. Epictetus placed great weight on language. Instead of saying, it is raining and this is terrible, he advised simply, it is raining. Full stop. The words that carry events from external reality into emotional judgment, those are our choice. The event itself is not. When you say, I had a terrible day, you are carrying a very different weight than when you say, I faced some difficult things today. Language is framing, and framing shapes experience. Neuroscience now validates this. Research shows that labeling emotions, naming what you feel with precise language, reduces amygdala activation and engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for reasoning and perspective. Epictetus called this right judgment. Neuroscience calls it affect labeling. The next time you feel frustrated, pause. Ask yourself, what is the actual event here? What label am I placing on it? And did I choose that label, or did habit choose it for me? Stoicism is often misunderstood as cold, emotionless, and purely individualistic. Epictetus taught the opposite. None of us were born purely for ourselves, he said. Our nature directs us toward community. In every role we hold, as a sibling, a citizen, a neighbor, a human being, we carry duties. To neglect those duties is not only a failure to others, it is a betrayal of our own integrity. Self-mastery is not an end in itself. It is a tool so that we may serve both ourselves and those around us more fully. In 2026, when individual achievement is celebrated and communal bonds are quietly eroding, this lesson carries particular weight. Epictetus reminds us, virtue is not lived in solitude. It is lived in connection, in service, in contributing to something larger than ourselves. And perhaps the deepest paradox of all, the stronger your inner freedom, the greater your capacity to give to others. Epictetus taught us to be both the most free and the most connected version of ourselves. Epictetus did not want followers. He wanted practitioners. Knowledge that does not lead to action is worthless, he believed. Here are 6 concrete steps you can begin today. Step 1. The morning question. Each morning, ask yourself, what is up to me today? Write one thing you will take control of, your effort, your kindness, and one thing you will release, someone else's opinion, a piece of bad news. This small ritual orients your mind before the day begins. Step 2. The judgment pause. When something frustrates you, stop and ask, is this up to me or not? If not, release it. If yes, respond with virtue. Practice this until it becomes instinct. Step 3. The evening review. As the day ends, ask yourself, where did I lose my freedom today? Where did I hand my power to something outside myself? This quiet awareness compounds rapidly. Step 4. The weekly discomfort. Once a week, voluntarily choose one small challenge. Skip a meal. Take a cold shower. Turn off your phone for a day. Train your mind the way Epictetus trained his, through practice, not theory. Step 5. The language audit. Notice your complaint sentences. Replace "this is awful" with "this is difficult. How can I approach it?" A small shift in the language opens a much larger shift in the mind. Step 6. Role excellence. Ask yourself, which role can I play best today? A parent, a colleague, a friend. Focus on that role alone and give it your best. Great meaning is born from small acts of excellence. Epictetus had nothing. No freedom, no wealth, no health by the end of his life. Yet he possessed everything that truly matters: his mind, his judgment, his chosen response. In 2026, when so many feel powerless, his message is simple and unbroken across 2,000 years. Your mind is your kingdom. No one can take it unless you surrender it. If this resonated with you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week on Eternal Stoic Path, we bring you new lessons from history, psychology, and timeless wisdom. Leave a comment below. What is one thing in your life right now that feels out of your control? And how might Epictetus's teachings help you respond to it differently? Thank you for walking this path with me. Stay resilient. I will see you in the next one.